Okay. That should be that. I should be going live. Probably. I think. Oh, that's loud. There we go. Maybe that was just loud for me. That seems fine. Audible, probably. There we go. That's properly sized. What were we going for? Procrastinating in bed. That's me. So we need to have our little dear child. There we go. She's just chilling. Hello, God King R. I'm so sorry about yesterday. Genuinely. We lost... Time absolutely got away from us, and we were running super far behind. We had an Easter event yesterday, and it involved a helicopter dropping eggs out of the sky, which is as cool as it sounds. It's absolutely as cool as it sounds, and it was totally worth it, but pushed us very far behind. Riley is still awake currently. Some of the audio from my monitor is probably going to leak into my microphone. He's currently playing a game in bed, not like a toy. It's like it's a wheel, like a car steering wheel, and then it has a little screen that shows you like driving, and you have to like make decisions. It's a learning game. Excuse me. And I'm okay with that because, you know, it's fine. Oh, sorry, plastic eggs. Not real eggs. I should have said plastic eggs. They were plastic eggs. Here we go. Let's move this over here so that I can see it because I don't have my glasses on because they're hurting my eyes. Yeah, they were plastic eggs. They were filled with like little things like toys and stuff. I think because they were just like little toys. The joy is just finding them, honestly. Let's see. Not my to-do list. We're gonna need that eventually. Today is Saturday. I think we had a live stream on Monday. That's what I did. And I think I wrote on Monday. I did some writing during the week, but I don't remember what day it was. I think it was Wednesday. Or maybe Thursday. The storm was okay, thankfully. Nothing too bad. But Riley was pretty spooked about it. He's old enough now that he understands that things can be scary. But yeah, pretty much. My brain just, I'm very, very tired today. So we were all up late yesterday. Oh dear. Thankfully, the storm. Thankfully, the storm wasn't bad, but there was a lot of thunder. The rain hit pretty hard on our way home, so we had to drive home really slow. And then, thankfully, that was mostly it. It was just like a ton of rain, really sudden, really fast. The storm was moving pretty quick, so it didn't stick around long enough to really do anything too wild. And then we just had thunder. After that, a lot of thunder and lightning, which is partly what scares him, is just the sound of the thunder in the distance. What is he doing? Oh, he's playing. Sorry, I saw him in the monitor, and I was looking at him. And Riley, when he gets excited, he vibrates. Just like moves a lot, which is totally fine. Yeah, everybody's okay. Thankfully, it was nothing too crazy. Not the worst storm that I have had to weather here. The worst one took our internet out for a week. I don't think I was streaming or recording during that time. It was during the summer, which sucked. I don't remember if I was retired yet. Whatever. I'll just tell it anyways, like I was. And that sucked. It was during the summer. We had no AC. Power was out for pretty much the entire city. Power lines were absolutely just wrecked. They were just destroyed, ripped, torn, shredded everywhere. The city had to put out like emergency crews and pull emergency crews from like other areas to come out and repair as much as they could as fast as possible. Brent had a generator, but like we had got it for like small emergencies. It wasn't really the type of generator that like is set to fuel your whole house, you know what I mean? So it was good for charging phones. We had some of our neighbors plug in their phones into it, and then he was trying to preserve as much of the power as possible, so he had it hooked up to a solar panel, and he was like following the sun the whole day to keep it in the like wherever the sun was the strongest to keep it charging. And I think we used that to keep our fridge going. That was the big one. We did not want to lose our fridge because that just sucks. And it turns out we discovered, because at one night I couldn't handle the heat, and we plugged a box fan into the generator. A box fan? Maybe this is, oh, she's not, what? Oh. Apparently relaxing didn't count as procrastinating, and I didn't realize that. It said, what did it say? This spirit haunts those who spend too much time procrastinating in bed. Okay, so she has to play a game. My bad. Oh no, that wasn't what caused the maggots. Ugh. No, we had last summer, we just had like a weird, crazy influx of flies. I had a neighbor tell me that they were coming in through their vent system, and they had a huge problem with flies. And then we had a huge problem with flies, and there was just so many of them. All it took was like a little in, and that was it. There was just flies, and I couldn't get, and like, it's hard because, we keep our trash cans in the garage because, the kids are really fascinated by trash cans, and I don't want my kids playing with trash cans for obvious reasons. So I kept the trash cans in the garage. And unfortunately, I think the flies got into the garage because it's just a garage. It's not the same as a house. And also, whenever we play outside, I just have the garage door open. And I think they got into the trash can because at that time the trash can wasn't. We'd had it for a while, and it's not like a big trash can. It was just like a house trash can, and the lid wasn't able to close anymore. And I think they got in and they laid some lovely surprises. And I woke up one morning to our garage floor absolutely covered all the way with maggots. And that was horrific. Brent also thinks it's because we had a water slide that we had got last summer. And I thought that we had got rid of all the water in that water slide. But I think they had enough water to survive in the garage off of that water slide, so I think that was also part of the problem. Hi, Crystal! Oh, you've come just in time for me to talk about the fun stuff. Anyways, yes, so no, I'm sorry, it wasn't last summer, it was 2 summers ago. Yeah, I think I was pregnant, actually. I don't think, did we have Lorelei? Oh, now I don't remember. That was when we lost power. I don't think it was last summer. No, maybe it was 2. No, you're okay. Did I arrive to more bug horror? I was recounting what happened with the whole maggot situation in the house, but yeah, the summer that we lost power, it was just like this massive storm. There weren't even any tornadoes. It was just that the storm was so nasty that it just ripped all the power stuff out of the ground. And then we had no power. So, oh yeah. And then I discovered that box fans apparently just take up an insane amount of energy. No joke. Box fans are ridiculous. Like, we had it plugged into the generator. I think the generator ran out of power after like an hour. And I mean, it was a small generator, but it was still like a hefty generator. We'd been storing power in it all day. And we'd also comparatively, the box fan sucked it dry. The fridge, used half of it over the course of literally the whole day. And then at night we would let the fridge kind of keep itself going, I think, if I remember correctly. It was weird. It was wild. Hi, Lord Magma. Yep. Yeah. My fears. My greatest fear. Maggots. I will never recover from that. You know, like, you see horror movies and you're like, oh, haha, the tried and true trope of maggots. Haha, so scary. And then you see them in real life and you're like, oh, no, that's deserved. They're awful. They're actually awful. I think I almost had a mental breakdown. It was so awful. Uh-oh, how bad is the lag? I swear I wasn't talking about him forever. How bad is the lag? Real quick. Hang on, I'm gonna turn off so that it doesn't have an echo. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. Let me just check. Doesn't have an echo. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. Oh, on my end, that's actually not that bad of a lag, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, so anyways, I digress. Yeah, that summer we ran out of power, and that was awful. That was what I was talking about before I got on the tangent of the bugs, but then before that I was just talking about one summer where we lost power, and that was the worst storm. Waking up to that one was pretty gnarly, because so I think that night we were both really exhausted. The whole house, like me, Brent, and Riley, all three of us were exhausted. I think I was pregnant. Was I? No. No, Lorelai was a baby. She had just been born. Yeah. Yeah, so that was 2 years ago. She was a baby. And I remember this because, like, so the power went out, and that was what woke me up. I sleep with a little fan that blows in my face. At this point, I'm pretty sure I just need it to sleep. So when it went off, I woke up immediately. And then I was like, what just happened? And then I realized outside was one of the worst storms I've ever heard in my life. And I sat up and I was like, what the flip? And I'm sitting there trying to process because I've just woken up. And then I realized the sirens are going off. I didn't even hear that. It wasn't even the sirens that woke me up. It was just the power going out. I would have straight slept through this horrific storm literally the whole night. So I'm like, I don't think there was a tornado, but the sirens go off when the winds hit a certain speed. So it's not that the sirens go off when there is a confirmed tornado, because confirming a tornado at night is not always possible or easy. So when the winds hit a certain speed, they just turn on the sirens because there's a good likelihood that it could be a tornado. So they just pop them on. So I hear the sirens and I'm like, Brent, and I like shake him awake. He's like, what? And I'm like, the sirens are going off. And then he lays there for a second because Brent could sleep through the literal apocalypse, which I believe we were doing at that time. And then he sat up and he gets up and I'm like I get up and I'm standing next to Lorelai waiting for him to confirm that it's pretty bad. And then he comes into the room and then he goes, we need to get to the shelter. And I was like, oh, it's bad. Because Brent normally were like, okay, everything's fine, but because the sirens are going off, we'll go to the shelter. He came running into that room and he was like, we need to get to the shelter. And I was like, cool. So I grab Lorelai. He sprints to Riley's room, grabs Riley. We sprinted into the shelter. Both of them are just like, ugh. So, yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much it. That was what woke me up, was the fact that my fan was off. That was it. That was what woke me up. I would have actually slept through that storm. I am very positive of this. I would have slept through that storm. There've been a couple, like the other day, I was a little alarmed. My mom called me in the morning. She's like, wow, that storm last night was really awful. And I was like, storm? She was like, yeah. They had like all the news going. They had Travis Meyer on TV. They were talking about, everything that was going on. And I was like, storm? Storm? And she was like, yeah, I was getting warnings all night, weren't you? And I was like, maybe? Emotional support box fans. Thankfully, I don't sleep with a box fan going in my face. Now I feel really guilty using a box fan because I've discovered how much energy that uses. But I do use like a little one, just like a little round fan, blows in my face all night. Probably not the best, but I have discovered that if my face gets too hot, I can't breathe. It sounds really stupid. My face gets hot and I can't breathe. Like, okay. But no, if I don't have some kind of cool air on my face, I will actually feel like I'm asphyxiating. It's really weird. And I've had it for my entire life. I have to have a fan on in some way, shape, or form. I have to have some kind of cold air on my face. I would probably do really well living in a cold climate, especially if I could wear this thing all the time. It's not even technically really all that cold right now. In fact, I will probably turn on a fan before I take this off because I just really love this. It makes me comfy. It makes me happy. Yeah. So, anyways, I have planned some more stuff for the mystery, the Scooby Doo gang story. I'm gonna have to the Deep Water gang. I think I hear tiny footsteps. I'll be right back. Hi, baby. Hang on, love. Yeah, hang on. What the heck? Am I still streaming? It'd be a tornado, so they... Am I not streaming anymore? What happened? Oh, okay. Oh, that was weird. Why did my chat break? There it is. Well, that was weird. I came back and it said, chat will appear when you start a live stream. So I was like, what? Sorry about that. Riley popped up outside my door. I think he's okay. He wanted me to sing to him, so he asked for basically the entire soundtrack of Robin Hood. He calls the theme song, the opening song, Udalali, calls that one, not opening, sorry, the one that happens after the opening, which is the whistling track. He calls that one Robin Hood Yellow, because the overall color of the scene when it's being sung is yellow. And then he calls the song Love, I think it's called Love, it's the one that plays while Robin Hood and Marian are walking around in the forest. He calls that one Robin Hood Blue, because the overall color of the scene is blue. And then immediately after that song, Little John sings the song about Prince John, and he calls that one Robin Hood Guitar. Yeah, he's fucking alright. So, and then he also asked for Winnie the Pooh. I'll say that one. But that's because I replaced Christopher Robin's name with his and Lorelai's. So instead of Christopher Robin, I say Riley Robin, and then I say Lorelai at the end. So he asked for all those. So I sang them for him. He's still awake, don't get me wrong. He's having some trouble. I might message Brent, just let him know. I don't know why he's struggling so hard. We read quite a bit of a book. We went to a used bookstore today. It's one of my favorite places to go. It's a used bookstore, and it is, I mean, it's like, the books are, you cannot beat the price of these books. We got him a whole bunch. All of them. Most of them he picked out. Some of them I picked out because I know he'll like them. Like, one is about plants that eat things, like Venus flytraps. Another one is about military vehicles. I know that we just saw a helicopter, so I had to get something with a helicopter in it. And then we also got one on wildfires. He's real big on weather and, like, I wouldn't say disasters, but he's real big on, like, big weather. So we have a book on hurricanes, a book on blizzards. I haven't found one on tornadoes, ironically. So I have one on, let me think, blizzards, hurricanes. I thought there was another one. Volcanoes. He's really big on volcanoes. He loves volcanoes. And then the new one is wildfires. Yeah, I think so. I think he was a little... And it was raining all day today, so he's probably slightly afraid of the thunder possibly coming back. Excuse me. Anyways, all good. I should make like a I'll be right back sign or something. I don't know what I'd make it in. Maybe I can do it in here. Okay, there we go. That way if anybody shows up and they see a dead silent stream with no streamer, they're not confused as all get out. Not that this isn't super nice to watch and listen to or anything like that, but, you know. Excuse me. I figured we'd do this today just because it was very, very chill. You know, it's nice to be chill. What else do we need? We need a daily task to do. Oh, I did that one. I haven't finished chapter 1, but did I? Oh, that was from last time. Did I do that one? Well, we'll count it today. Why not? I'm actually, we'll make another one for do some writing. Me. Lorelai's out cold. He's a bit jumpy. I gave him... Oh, I also gave Riley some bread. He said his tummy was hurting. So, I'm giving Brent the update. We communicate through... he's upstairs programming. He and his coworker, they're working on making a game for fun. They're still on the drawing board. He, like I said, he is an incredible human being. I cannot fathom. He decides he wants to do something and then he just does it. Couldn't be me. My live streams are evidence of that. Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna do this thing, and then he sits down and does it. Like, genuinely, he was like, I really want to make a game. I need to learn how to, like, model things. And I think I told you guys this. He, like, showed up and was like, look what I made, and showed me, like, a really good 3D model of, like a mech, right? Like a giant mech. And I was like, buh. That is amazing. And then he was like, cool, but now I need to make it modular for upgrading. And then he, like, swapped out pieces on the finished 3D model and then made them modular. Yeah. He flexes on me all the time. I'm like, bro, I cannot keep up with this. It's crazy. Sometimes I can't figure out. I'm like, how do you do that? What's this one? Ooh, that one's really pretty. It glows at night. What about this one? That one's also really pretty. That one's snowy. I mean, we could say it's snowing. Who says I can't make it snow? This one is more... Oh, that one's actually just really pretty. And oh, that one kind of suits the green, doesn't it? So does that one. Nah, no cityscapes. I mean, I'm not saying cityscapes can't be pretty, but I'm not really feeling a cityscape. I like this one because it has the glowing stuff in the background. We'll get that one. Because just, like, look how pretty that is. Anyways. I digress. So, I don't know what I'm going to write today because my brain is just fried. I feel like... So, recently... Story time, right? I have the Scooby-Doo story is sitting at the back of my brain because I'm trying to decide something right now. Something about the characters. I have some backstories for them that will be explored throughout the series, but I'm not sure if those backstories are just too dark. But I don't want to hurt your feelings. No, and then he'd go ahead, hurt my feelings. Do it. I believe in you. He is a man who is unfazed by anything. What? Sentence. What? He doesn't get... He is unfazed. He is an unfazed individual. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah. He's fazed by nothing. There we go. There we go. Am I a writer? What's happening? Anyways. Do I English? Oh yeah. So, recently, I have had a huge hankering for something, and I think it might be specifically Asian. Like, I'm not sure if it's a Korean thing. Possibly. I think I've seen some Korean stuff for it. I know I've seen Chinese stuff. I don't know about Japanese. So I get these Facebook ads for these apps where they have these, like, little dramas that play out, right? And they're episodic. The problem with these apps is that it quickly becomes very obvious that they will draw out these shows so that you have, like, 300 episodes, all of which are about 5 to 7 minutes long. And then... Like, there was one that I was watching. They drew out this one confrontation scene for, like, 10 episodes. And it was, like, they basically just... It was almost comedic. They would just essentially reiterate the exact same thing for, like, 5 episodes. And there's a lot of internal dialogue where they're like... Okay, I'm gonna make it up. It's like... he doesn't know that I'm actually the daughter of the most famous CEO in the entire city. And then it like cuts to him and he's like, she has no idea what she's doing getting involved with me. And then they'll have some dialogue and then it will cut back to her and she's like, but wait until he finds out that I'm actually the daughter of the richest CEO in the city. That it cuts back to him and he's like, she thinks she's worthy of me, but I have risen above and I don't need her anymore. And then they have some dialogue and then it cuts to her and she's like, but wait until he finds out I'm the daughter. And it's I swear it's almost comedic how often they will reiterate these like, because they're trying to get you to obviously spend money. So they give you a certain amount of episodes for free, and then if you want to see the conclusion of the show, you're going to end up spending like $100. So I don't click the ads. I should say I don't click the ads, but the ads are really good. It's like watching a little mini drama because the ads will be like 35 minutes long and you almost get the whole story because that's how they get you. So I sit there and I just kind of watch it. The premises are usually really good. The ones I can't stand are the ones that they try to Americanize a little too much. So it'll be in Chinese and it is clearly in China. And then they'll be like, Susan is here to marry Michael Smith. And I'm like, that is not what they said. You cannot make me believe that that woman's name is Susan. It'll be like, the only names I know are from MXTX. Like, the dialogue is like, Wei Wuxian, and then it's like, Mark Smith. And I'm like, that is not, your subtitles are ridiculous, and I'm cringing. Please don't call your Chinese characters Mark, Joe, Susan. That's not what you said. Don't hurt me. I want to know the Chinese names. Yeah. Yeah. But the one that I was watching recently because you know what? It's an advertisement. I'm gonna watch it. It's 35 minutes long. Impressive. Not the Michael Smith though. They do still take on English names. Well, okay. I will admit that English names, it's not like people don't pick English names in other countries. That is very true. It's just like, I think what bothers me is when it's very clearly not what they're saying. Like, I know enough from watching some Chinese dramas to kind of pick out what the name is and where the name is in the sentence structure. So I can usually tell that that's not what they're saying. And it's probably not the like closest translation either. I think what they're doing is that they're trying to attract audiences that aren't as familiar with Chinese culture. So like if they're advertising to an American audience, they're trying to put in English names in the subtitles. That's what bothers me. Is just that I know that that's not the name that they're using, and I'm like, no, I want to know the Chinese name. I like the Chinese names. Yeah, and absolutely not saying that they don't take English names. That would be silly of me to say. Which I realize is basically what I said. My bad. Be prepared for that. My brain is very fried. But yeah, so yeah, it's just basically like, and then they always choose like, it's like, what was another silly one? It was romanticy syndrome names. There was one ad I saw where they had romanticy syndrome names where they were like, that is Steele McLawson. And I was like, oh, no, I can't do that. Anyways, I digress. The one ad that I got into, and I really want this trope, and I don't know if there are any books with this trope, which is very depressing to realize that. It is the marry my husband trope, right? Where something horrible happens, the character essentially dies, and then goes back in time to a point just before things become the no turning back point, right? And then they're given a chance to live their life all over again and take revenge or just try to get away, right? So in Marry My Husband, that's kind of what happens. She dies and then wakes up, and it's 10 years prior. And then she's able to use her knowledge. I kind of love the idea of like a modern setting, so I'm not like, because there's a lot of webtoons with this trope, but they're all fantasy setting. They're all kind of like isekais or portal fantasies versus like a modern time travel thing. And I really, really want to read that. But I don't think it exists. At least not in a language I can read. Oh, geez, that looks... Ouch. I think I just processed that it just got a little pin stuck in its eye. Voodoo. That's funny. I heard of a spirit that can help me overcome my writer's block. I wish. Wrong button. Activity. Let's go. We're going to unlock, just for anybody who may be wondering why I'm not using the cooking one, we're trying to... Ew. Why are these ones? Oh. Oh, interesting. Some of these are spirit dependent. Oh, we can almost get all of them, I think. Anyways, I digress. I wanted to try to recollect these just to go over this for the sake of the live stream. I lost all of my spirits in my previous save. Or no, I lost all of my unlocks in a previous... Uh-oh. Oh, is he getting back up? Man, he's having a really hard night. I'm going to just preemptively open that. That's what I'm thinking too, but I requested recommendations on Reddit, and I didn't get any for any books, but I was so sure that there had to be something. Time travel for sure, but I don't know if it's like time travel specifically with like the whole revenge plot. I think I just want revenge with time travel. There's something really satisfying about like they go back and take out their aggressors. Ask AI. Good point. He's not back in his room. He might be up. I'm gonna go check. Oops, that's not what I actually wanted. It's actually not that bad. Alright, I'll be right back. Okay. I have returned. He's definitely struggling tonight. If he keeps getting up, I might have to end the live stream. But I keep pressing the wrong button. What I actually wanted to do was... Let's stick her in the window. I think she can do... Nope. I think it has to be at her desk. There we go. Excuse me. Let's see. What can we have that matches our vibe? I mean, the little teapot is pretty cute. What color? Ooh, we can have a green bumblebee. I like how it just flings itself onto the screen. Why not? I do love the little bumblebee. Look at him, he's so cute. Okay, so anyways, I don't know what I'll write. Maybe I'll just write something. Just something for fun, you know? Let's do a small little timer. I'm gonna do a little bit of writing. Just to chill. Just to chill and think and try to do some kind of writing. Look at him bumbling. shall read your comment in just a second. Oh. Oh, this is... Oops. My bad. I said it for... I said it for 10 minutes and I didn't realize. I thought... For some reason I thought the timer was done. It was not. Oh, I think that's the timer in it. Nice. I actually feel pretty good about that. 559 words. Oh. Oh, I still have a minute on this timer. Hang on. I have a timer in for the words, but I guess I was a minute behind on it. 1 second. Or 1 minute. Sorry if I start making faces. I'm picturing a scene and I just realized I started making a face based off of the scene. Okay. Cool. This one was from the romance, the werewolf romance. I just decided I wanted to write a random scene from it. Why not? Yeah, I know. So many timers. It's because the timer in Spirit City is like a separate timer, but I decided to write with timers in for the words. Just, I don't know. Makes it easier, I guess. That was what I was using last time when I was doing the hot biscuits. Oh, the little sim game. I guess I don't need to... I can empty these out. Hang on. So you said, have you seen a movie called Frequency? It's about a grown-up son who tries to save his dad, who died 30 years ago in a fire, by communicating to him. Oh, that's kind of cool. I do like that. I'll have to watch that. That's definitely a really cool premise. God, my brain is fried. Thank you for telling me about that. How do I want to... There we go. I think I'd never used this website before. Anyways, I think I did pretty good. Oh, I do... Oh, I need one more. 1, 2, 3. Cool, there's 4 monsters. Oh, these are easy. These are 60 words. As if I can't handle 60 words. These ones are 500. That's a little different. Okay, there we go. But yes, I will definitely check that out. So, I am pleased. That was a fun scene to write. We've done all of our little thingamajiggies. Now we're just waiting probably for the spirits to unlock, and then we'll get a level up. It doesn't show you how close you are to getting the spirit, but who am I to complain? To catch up on reading? Heck yeah, absolutely. It's on theme. I ain't gonna complain. Oh, at the bookstore today, I got something I'm pretty excited about. I knew C.S. Lewis wrote other books besides the Narnia series, but I never really looked into them. And then I decided that I wanted to look into some of his other books, one of which I only know of a few of them. I'm not even sure how many there are. One is called The Screwtape Letters, which I think is really cool and unique. It's obviously he was very Christian. A lot of the stuff that he wrote was like apologetics. The Screwtape Letters was from the perspective of a demon writing letters to his nephew, I believe, who was trying to force a Christian man to sin. Or, yeah, pretty much. If I understand that correctly. Which I thought was like a really unique take on trying to explain sin metaphorically. I thought that was really cool. So I now have that. I found that one. And I also found a copy of Mere Christianity, which I really want to read because I just would like to. And the preface is really cool. I like the way that he talks, and I like the way that he thinks, and the approach that he came from with Mere Christianity. I wanted to get these initially, and we went to Barnes & Noble, and they go for like $20 a pop. Books are a little ridiculous right now. Where was I? I'm pretty sure it was at Barnes & Noble. Oh, I was somewhere. No, I think it was Target. The paperbacks were almost the exact same price as the hardcovers. Like, the paperbacks were like $20. I was like, these are paperbacks. Excuse me. Ooh, I'll have to find that one. I only found a few today. I actually also found the 3rd book in his sci-fi trilogy. Didn't find the first 2, but I've learned my lesson, and whenever I go to the used bookstore, I'm just going to pick them up whenever I see them. So I'm just going to hang on to those. But yeah, it's crazy. I cannot fathom the book prices. They're just through the roof. They're so expensive. It's just crazy. I couldn't believe it. I was like, Target, what are you thinking? I'm not gonna buy any of these. They're paperbacks. They're not even that fancy. Like, they have nice covers, sure, but they're not that fancy. I'm not like looking at I don't know, full color pages. I'm just gonna go to a used bookstore. It's a time to be alive for used bookstores, I tell you what. I think. Ugh, my nose is really itchy. Okay. It's my life. So, this actually matches the weather outside right now. It's very rainy and not very thundery tonight. Oh, poor Riley. He's still awake. He's trying. He might go to sleep soon. He's on his side. I have to check on him. So anyways, the other thing that I thought about doing tonight was working on Inform. Ah, biscuits. Why does it do this? There it goes. Okay. Every so often, the shortcut for Inform on my computer wigs out, and then I can't find it. So I thought I would show you guys this. So this is Inform 7, which I think I've talked about before, but I'm a little further than I used to be with Inform 7. Although it's been a minute since I was working on it, so I'm gonna have to refresh my memory again on what I was learning. So this is a project. This is not my project. Hang on, let me move my face real quick. Biscuits. There we go. Okay. This is a project that I'm working on out of a book. So this is not literally, you could look this up. It's Sand Dancer. It's not by me. It's by Aaron Reed. Yeah, Aaron Reed. Big name in Inform. So this was the project that he did for his book about Inform 7. And I had just finished cleaning up the project and making it more organized. And I wanted to learn this because I wanted to create an Inform game for House of Flies. I have to be careful not to say House of Leaves. Now that I've realized that I named House of Flies that because I had a House of Leaves at the back of my brain, I'm super hyper aware of the fact that it's called House of Flies and like House of Leaves. Every so often, by the way, I go back and I watch this one video about the Doom, or I can watch a couple videos about the Doom mod. I forgot the word for it. The Doom game. The Doom custom game. Okay. I can't remember what it's called. That is basically, it's based off of House of Leaves. Oh. I have a brain. It's working. But yeah, I definitely I've been working on this. So this down here, I think, is the mechanics of the game. Oh gosh, yeah, I can just to explain how complicated the mechanics are. So here, there's one of the aspects of the game is that your character unlocks or remembers memories as you explore through the area. A memory is a currency in the game that you use at certain points. I've actually played this, the finished version, which he uploaded somewhere, which was quite nice and makes sense since it's for a book for studying. So suggestion relates various things to one memory. He hasn't covered that. I think that was where I left off, actually. The verb to suggests, he suggests, they suggest, he suggested, it is suggested, he is suggesting, implies the suggestion relation. So this is defining to Inform 7 how the term suggestion is going to be used. So I will say he suggests, and then it will be able to process what that's supposed to do. Biscuit. The last day of high school is a memory. It is suggested by the tumbleweed. So this is where I think this was what we were just starting to get into. So this was like the beginning of the mechanics of the game. So far we had set up the setting, which all of this is just setting. Almost all of this is just setting and flavor text. So these get very long. So like here I defined this one. A window is a kind of thing. A window can be open. A window is usually closed. A window is always fixed in place. A window can be openable. A window is usually openable. The description of a window is usually dusty glass panes. So this inform does not know what a window is. So I have to define, in this case, because windows are important to the mechanics of the game. Otherwise you would not do that. We define what a window is. We say a window is always fixed in place because you don't want the character to pick up a window and stick it in his pocket. And then a window can be openable. It is usually openable. This says that it does not have to be openable. So this tells Inform that a player can open a window. This tells Inform that a window starts off being openable. So if I don't want a window to be openable, I have to define it as that. Openable is not starting to not sound like a word. And then this gives a window a basic description, so that if I forget to set one, it will always have a description, and Inform won't go, there's nothing special about this object. Same thing with this one. A plant is kind of thing. A plant is fixed in place. A plant can be dead or alive. A plant is usually alive. Not that that means anything, but it is a descriptor. A device is a kind of thing. A device can be switched on. So all of this is like, it pertains specifically to this game, right? Like this is not necessarily stuff that you would define in a regular game. Around the tower is a region. Middle of nowhere, backtracking, crumbling concrete, base of the tower, and weed-strewn rust are in around the tower. So this is for making a map. And we can see that. Yes, I think I need to play it in order for the index to get created. It just needs to, I think, reestablish the index. There we go. Index map. So see, here is the map of the world. You start off in middle of nowhere. There's this one, which is backtracking to the south of middle of nowhere. And then you have crumbling concrete, weed-strewn rust, base of the tower. And then this is against the fence. Oh, I don't think I've set that around anywhere. Hang on. We'll reload that. And then we'll be able to see. Yep. Oops, that should have, yeah. So now that belongs somewhere. This is around the tower. This is, which one was that one? Base of the tower. So this area is in base of the tower. And this is base, oh no, this is office interior, excuse me. Description, base of the tower is this room right here. So it's not even a backtracking against the fence. Office interior. Office interior is a region. Staging area, foreman's office, break room, and storage room are in office interior. And then it shows you how you get to these rooms. So this helps so that you can see what rooms are not connected to anything. So in this case, we know that these rooms are all connected to stuff. Why does that look broken? Base of the tower can be reached by weed-strewn rust. Oh, yes. No. Why is that? I don't remember. Why can I go northwest to base of the tower? Why is this broken? You can go in from crumbling concrete to the staging area, which is why this little arrow exists. I have no idea. Why are these broken? What does that mean? What is it telling me? I don't know. Ah, boy, this is the list of all of the items, I believe. Everything that can be messed with in the game world. So like, see, when the game starts up, it says the tire tracks from the south stop abruptly here. But where the hell are you? The desert sand and clumps of pale sagebrush are all your dimming headlights pick out before barely reaching the concrete building to the north. Your poor old pickup truck ticks and groans, smashing gracelessly against a tall saguaro. Whiffs of evaporating gasoline linger in the chill air. I set this. I think I did that with keyword interface. So this is a library. Yes, extension. That's what they call it, by Aaron Reed that he made. And that makes the words appear blue. Yeah. And then I have exit lister. So up here it says exits north and south. I liked having that because I felt like that it was just nice, you know? There's also a tutorial that you can include with these that I think Emily Short made. There's all sorts of really cool extensions. There's skeleton keys, which I forget what that one does. I think that's already, these are all already included, I think. We haven't unlocked anything yet. But yeah, I really wanted to learn this to be able to, documentation, to make something for House of Flies. The thing that I wanted to make would follow a side character who is mentioned and has an article written in the story, but her role was going to be through this type of thing, which was a text, you know, interactive fiction is what I wanted to say. I don't know though. I don't know if I can do this tonight. My brain is very burned out. It's hard because like, so this is the documentation. This is it, you know? This is a recipe book which will show you kind of like stuff that you can do within. Before getting to actual recipes, many recipe books begin with intimidating lists of high-end kitchen equipment. God, isn't that the truth? Fortunately, readers who have downloaded Inform already have the complete kitchen used by the authors. Demonstrates 3 basic techniques: an ever-changing random variation, a random variation changing only after the player has been absent for a while, and a message tweaked to add an extra comment in one special case. We would test out some, oh gosh, there's a lot of examples in there. Interactive fiction is the coolest. It's so cool, and it's partly why I want to learn this. Not because I think it would earn me money. Highly doubt. Press F to doubt. Smash. That's basically impossible, but I love it. It's just so cool. It's one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Like, look at this. This is such a cool language. It's also far more complex and yet far more simple than you think it is, because there are certain, you have to very carefully structure your sentences. You cannot just say things that would generally mean the same thing as like some heaps of garbage are in against the fence. This is a strange sentence, right? Some heaps of garbage are in against the fence. That's because this is the name of the item, some heaps of garbage. That is the item. That is how it will be introduced to the player, as some heaps of garbage. So it's basically saying apple is in against the fence, right? If I say an apple, that's how the game will refer to it, an apple. So same thing with some heaps of garbage. So same thing here. Some heaps of garbage are scenery, which means that I think it won't be pointed out to the player, if I remember correctly. The description of the heaps of garbage. In this case, I could say the heaps of garbage, and I say that because in another room I have more garbage that goes by a different name. So I have to be very careful to refer to items, especially if I have similar items, by an easily identifiable tag. So the description of the heaps of garbage is worthless piles of junk. And this was just because he told us in the book to create something, and I wanted to make sure that I understood how that worked, so I made that. It's not required for the story, it's just there. I'm not even sure I should have made it scenery, though. Oh well. I'm not even sure I totally understand scenery. Kinds. General index. Oh, biscuits. Nope. House. Okay. Things. The source text. I think I'm fine on this one. Oh, he's out. He fell asleep. Thank goodness. Making rules. Instead of taking the crate, say it's far too heavy to lift. So this is a neat way. Instead of saying the crate is fixed in place, you could also just say, instead of taking the crate, say it's far too heavy to lift. So that means anytime the player tries to lift something, instead of the game saying, like, you can't lift that, it will say it's far too heavy to lift, which is a really neat way of... I admire your capacity to just cook up all these ideas and how you're enthusiastic about each. You're very sweet. I have too many ideas. It is not the best, but it's not really about making money or being successful. Sometimes Brent is actually very similar. We're very similar in this way, in that sometimes he also has way too many ideas, but it's never about making money for him either. For him, it is just the process of doing, which is fun for him. And so, you know, he has a lot of projects that he's started and not necessarily finished. But for him, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes he's a little upset about it, that he hasn't finished something. But at the same time, most of the time when he starts something, it is entirely for him. It's not where he's like, yeah, this is my get-rich-quick scheme. And so he and I have kind of the same mentality on projects like that, where it's not really about, you know, it's not a scheme. We're 9 times out of 10, we're picking something up because we're interested in it. And we just want to do the thing and have fun with it while we're doing the thing. My book for this is over there, I think. I'll get it later. So like, oh, you can make some really complicated stuff like this. Before taking the crate, if the player is wearing the hat, now the hat is in the crate. Say, as you stoop down, your hat falls into the crate. So this is like an if, you know, if else type situation. If tells inform, oh yeah. See, there we go. If tells inform to do something only if some condition holds true. Holds. Here the player is wearing the hat. Now tells inform to change the situation here so that the hat moves to the crate, and say tells inform to say something, that is to write some text for the player to read. So it's pretty nifty, honestly. Might not work on this on stream. Hey, we got our little guy. There he is. I'm not trying. I have, you know, obviously we interact quite a lot, so most of my information and or stories is going to involve talking about Brent. I heard of a spirit that loves boba tea. It's my great pick-me-up when my energy gets low from typing all day. So now we can type. Let's go sit in the bay window and type. Like I'm definitely doing right now. Monies! And we can get our... Nope, just kidding. We can go to... Nope, just kidding. Go to wardrobe. Spirit companion. Let's take a look at this little guy. There you go. Beautiful. It's my... He'll help me with writer's block. Okay. Thunder is actually starting in real life. I did writing. Oh, look how pretty that looks. It looks almost even prettier on the live stream. Colors are a little washed out on my screen, but on the live stream the colors seem much more vibrant even. What was I gonna do? There we go. Alright, so I have my thingamajiggy on. Forgot about that. Hello, I turned off my face, not the display capture. Jesus. Alright, I'm gonna do one more writing session. Aw, you guys are sweet. I'm gonna do one more writing session, and then we will call it a night, I think. my brain is fried. But yeah, so we'll just chill. We've got our super cool character here, chilling, vibing. We could also get. I feel like we're making good. We're making tracks. I think this is the boba spirit, which is very cute. So we're making tracks with the spirits. We're gonna get them. You know, we're gonna get these guys. I can also show you guys what my little village looks like. It's very haphazard, very eclectic. Also, there's like I got a strange machine in the little village that requires a code. I don't know what the code is. I don't know if I'm supposed to know what the code is. Anyways, okay, we'll do 10-minute session starting now. Okay. Yeah, I am definitely starting to pass out. Alright, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end this live stream here. I feel like I've accomplished something. I did some writing, got the creative juices flowing. Even talked about some inform, kind of refreshed my memory on that. Feel a little better about trying to jump back into that. Oh boy, oh man, today has really taken it out of me. The kids are like, every time I think surely the kids have like the most energy that they'll have at this age. Another day comes and there's more energy. Like Energizer bunnies. Yes, I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for your patience. Again, I'm so sorry for yesterday. I did not mean for it to get so late before I put out a notice on YouTube. I wasn't even processing what time it was. We had Easter. By the way, I told God King R this. They had an Easter event yesterday where we were in a big, huge field and a helicopter came by and they dropped eggs out of the helicopter, like plastic eggs. And then all the kids got to run in and grab all the eggs and it was very cool. They loved that. So it's just a very cool evening. Everything got shoved because of the event that we were doing and I did not expect it to go that late. Or anything. We were with family as well. And so everything got shoved very late and it does not take 5 minutes to put Riley to bed. So as you can see, sometimes it doesn't even take that, the normal amount of time to put him to bed. Sometimes it's just really hard for him to sleep. So thank you so much, guys, for coming tonight. I genuinely appreciate all of you so much and I appreciate your patience. And I will see you guys on Monday. So thank you again. Hopefully I will be a little more energetic and awake and alive. I'll see you guys next time.